The ketogenic diet has been one of the mainstays in the health and fitness world today, as health enthusiasts, influencers, and celebrities alike follow this high-fat eating pattern that claims that it can make you achieve your desired weight even by eating foods that are typically being avoided during one's fitness journey, like meat, butter, and cheese. And due to its popularity, several variations of the original method have come out to help the keto diet become more accessible. In today's video, we'll be comparing the High Protein Keto Diet versus the Cyclical Keto Diet by going over their pros and cons, their similarities, and what makes each variation unique and beneficial depending on each individual. Starting strong, we have the High Protein Keto Method, aka the Modified Atkins Diet. From the name itself, this ketogenic variation is high in protein, which makes it ideal for bodybuilders, people who want to gain more weight and muscle in general, or for people who manifest signs of protein deficiency like hair, skin, and nail problems, fatigue, and slow healing injuries. This method works by slightly increasing your protein intake to about 30 to 35% of your total calorie intake, whereas your fat intake will be adjusted to 50 to 60%. Your carbohydrate intake will remain the same, which is under 10% of your total calories. When doing the high protein keto diet, it is important that you get your protein from wholesome and nutritious foods. This means avoiding highly processed sodium-rich meat products and incorporating more wholesome plant and animal sources into your diet. There are plenty of examples that you can choose from, such as lean meat, poultry, breast, salmon, tuna, shrimp, lobster, tempeh, tofu, seeds, eggs, almonds, edamame, chickpeas, bulgur wheat, and dairy products like milk, Greek yogurt, and ricotta cheese. So basically, this ketogenic variation lets you have more room for protein as opposed to the standard ketogenic diet. Sourcing protein from healthy foods is the backbone of the high protein keto diet, especially if you want to reap its full benefits, one of which includes building lean muscle, which you can surely attain by pairing a proper diet with resistance training. However, it is crucial to note that the high protein keto variation may not be suitable for you if you need to follow a ketogenic diet for medical reasons. According to Francisca Spritzler, a Los Angeles-based registered dietitian and founder of Low Carb Dietitian, protein is typically restricted in therapeutic ketogenic diets because therapeutic keto aims to treat epilepsy by upping a patient's ketone levels. Although consuming protein won't necessarily push your body out of ketosis, it will still reduce ketone levels in your blood, something that we're trying to avoid with therapeutic keto. Moving on, we have cyclical keto or keto cycling. The way this variation works is pretty simple. You'll be following a standard ketogenic diet for 5 days, then you'll be consuming 100 to 500 more grams of carbs the next day or two. Another way you could approach keto cycling is by doing it every day by incorporating one high carb meal in your daily meals, like choosing dinner as your high carb meal for instance. In a nutshell, you're essentially cycling in and out of your keto diet throughout the week. What's great about cyclical keto is that the extra wiggle room for carbs will make it easier for you to stick to this diet, making it perfect for those who find the standard ketogenic diet a bit too restrictive and difficult to follow. During your extra carb days, there's no specific amount of carbohydrates that you can or can't eat. Just remember not to go crazy on the carbs, because doing so will make it hard for your body to return to a state of ketosis. When this happens, it will be harder for you to see the results you aspire to achieve. Also note that it is highly recommended to only do keto cycling if you've already done the standard keto diet for a few months, because this ensures that your body is already used to using fat as fuel. So now that we know the fundamentals of high protein keto and cyclical keto, let's now talk about the two sides of each coin, starting off with the pros of each ketogenic variation. High protein keto pros. Number 1, if you're someone who wants to lose fat and gain lean muscle at the same time, then this is something that you can totally do. According to a clinical study conducted by Johnston last 2008, a high-protein keto diet boosts and encourages muscle growth and an improved body composition when accompanied by regular and proper strength training, making it perfect for bodybuilders and people looking to improve their gains. Number 2, since this diet allows you to slightly expand your diet to more protein, you're allowed to eat more food like lean meat and fish. This makes the high-protein keto diet a bit easier to follow compared to traditional high-fat keto diets. It makes it also extremely helpful for people who are experiencing protein deficiency related diseases. Number 3, do you want to lose weight but aren't particularly attracted to the idea of bulking up? High protein keto is also perfect for you. This keto variation isn't only for bodybuilders, it's also perfect if you want to lose weight or if you just want to be leaner and reduce your body fat percentage. What makes this possible is that protein makes you feel satiated for an extended period of time, plus Protein also helps repair your muscles each time you work out, making it easier for your body to lose weight and recover. Cyclical Keto Pros. Number 1, it's amazing for athletes who undergo rigorous training or for people who enjoy intense sports or exercise. The rationale behind this is that the extra carbohydrates you consume will serve as your body's fuel because physically demanding activities like endurance training, swimming, running, marathons, and CrossFit all require glucose for your body to keep up. Glucose or blood sugar can only be obtained once you eat carbohydrates because glucose is a broken down version of these carbs. Eating a bit more carbs during keto cycling helps you perform harder and better for longer thanks to the extra energy boost. Number 2, we get to have more carbs. Let's face the truth, some people just really like their carbs, and cyclical keto lets individuals eat more servings of rice, potatoes, oats, and bananas. If you're someone who loves their mashed potatoes and pasta, cyclical keto is a definite godsend. And number 3, since cyclical keto lets you have a bit of a break and it permits you to eat more carbs every once in a while, people will find this ketogenic variation a lot easier to follow. This is especially perfect if you've been trying the standard ketogenic diet for a while now, but you're having a tough time sticking to it. Now, while this is all fine and dandy, there's definitely some cons to be aware of, so let's move on to that section next. High protein keto cons. Number 1, there's a very fine line between the perfect amount of protein you can eat on a high protein keto diet to reap its benefits and the amount of protein that can disrupt your body's ability to burn fat in the first place. This is what makes high protein keto a little tricky. It's very important that you do not eat more than your required daily amount of protein because once you consume too much protein, the amino acids may be turned into glucose or blood sugar and your body gets stuck in the process of burning blood sugar instead of fat, exactly what we're trying to prevent with the keto diet. Number 2, you may be more susceptible to developing diseases. Most ketogenic diet variations don't really give you room to consume different types of food. Thus, the nutrients that your body gets is also limited. This leads to the development of diseases such as high cholesterol levels, which can eventually lead to the development of heart problems, renal diseases, and osteoporosis because you may be urinating more calcium than usual. And number 3, your body may take longer to reach ketosis. Of course, this varies between each individual because our bodies function differently and a lot of factors come into play here, such as your health profile, your hydration states, the medications you take, and so much more. But in general, people who follow a high protein keto diet reach ketosis 1 or 2 days longer than usual because the extra protein still needs to be broken down into amino acids first. Cyclical keto cons. Number 1, cyclical keto has minimal downsides, but it's not something to be taken lightly. The main con to cyclical keto is that it may promote carb binging. Having control over oneself is not an easy feat when it comes to your health or any other aspect in life for that matter. Thus, some people may find themselves straying from their past when doing cyclical keto because that extra wiggle room for carbohydrates can be really tempting if you want to sneak in a couple more bites of pasta. Going off track can also cause blood vessel inflammation. As seen on one small short-term studies, researchers have found that when participants followed a stringent ketogenic diet for 6 days and went off track by having a beverage with 75 grams of carbohydrates, their endothelial microparticles or microvesicles had temporarily increased, something that can be seen in type 2 diabetic patients or patients with heart ailments. These endothelial microparticles are a layer of cells that line the walls of our blood vessels, and an increase in these endothelial microparticles are an indication that your blood vessels experience some sort of damage due to the sudden spike of blood glucose. And on a deeper note, cyclical keto may lead you to develop an unhealthy relationship with food, something that isn't worth the risk just for the sake of weight loss. As much as achieving your goals feel fulfilling, nothing is better than living a life that is truly holistic, healthy, and keeps you happy. Now that's a lot of information to take in, but let's try to compare them side by side and see what makes them similar to one another. Number 1, for starters, both are effective in achieving your weight goals. Whether you're trying to gain weight by building muscle or you're trying to shed some pounds, one or the other will surely be more beneficial and effective for you. Number 2, although both keto variations offers more leeway to users, the core of these eating plans is still the concept of ketosis. At the end of the day, the goal of these diets is to get the majority of your calories from wholesome fats. The added protein and carbohydrates from these two variations will only help boost your physical performance when doing activities and or make the process of following the diet easier for you. With that said, it is important for you to consult with a medical professional or a registered dietitian to see if you're eligible to perform these diets. And number 3, the studies backing up these two eating patterns are very promising. But remember to still take it with a grain of salt. The ketogenic diet is still generally new. So there still aren't studies available that have been conducted over a longer time frame. Thus, we still don't know how these eating patterns can affect your health in the long run. Comparing these two types of ketogenic diet variations, cyclical keto may be easier to follow because it gives users more leeway and flexibility on when they'll do this diet as opposed to high protein keto, which should be ideally done 24/7. As for when you should use each method, cyclical keto is more beginner friendly. You could definitely try this out if you're new to the passive weight loss. Just make sure that you've done the standard keto method for at least a month or two before trying this out, because this ensures that your body is well adjusted to using fat as a source of fuel. On the other hand, high protein keto is for you to follow if you want to build more muscle. You could even choose to transition into this keto diet variation after you achieve your desired weight after keto cycling. This is going to help you build muscle after losing all that body fat. With that said, we've come to the end of the video. As always, when it comes to achieving your health goals, it is important that you talk to a licensed medical professional before changing up your routine or diet to make sure that it suits you and is appropriate for you. These videos are for educational purposes only and are meant to replace professional advice. If you learned a thing or two from today's video, feel free to give it a like and subscribe to our channel if you haven't already. Make sure to also click on the bell icon to make sure you don't miss any of our latest content. Until next time.